Listen, following football costs enough money already, so don't let your mobile bill mug you off. Rocket Mobile gives you unlimited everything for £16 a month. No nonsense. Powered by Vodafone and Free, plus exclusive content and prizes when you switch on over. Scan the QR code or click the link and put that cash back into football.
Welcome back to AFTV. Just watched Arsenal win away from home. First time in a few weeks we've got an away win. Christian, 1-0. What do you think of the performance?
I think we made it way more stressful than it needed to be. I don't think Everton turned up. And Jai, who is, in my opinion, their best player, obviously missing. Gay missing. Who else was missing? Dewsbury Hall. I just think this is a poor version of Everton. I think we should have put them to the sword today. And it was, in the end, for me, way more stressful than it needed to be. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't a good performance from us, because I think we played well. I think we dominated the game. I never really felt at threat from Everton, apart from I think they should have had a penalty in the second half. But you've got to put your chances away, man. How many years we've been saying this now? We're playing well, but we're not scoring our chances. We had 20 shots, but we only scored one goal. And we ended up drawing. We should have scored 2 or 3 goals. That's where my frustration comes from today. And especially the recent performances, right? Sunderland, we're 2-1 up. We don't score our chances in that second half. Played really well. We scored 2 goals, but we could have killed the game. We didn't. They score a last-minute goal, comes back to 2-2. Chelsea is 1-1, and we're not taking our chances. We end up drawing the game against 10 men. Aston Villa is 1-1. We don't really have many chances. Rice puts it across. Maybe Gyökeres can be there. Sucker punch. Last minute, we lose the game 2-1. Wolves, we're 1-0 up against bottom of the table. Sucker punch, 91st minute, 1-1. I know we're going to win the game, but for me, that was where my frustration came from today, where I just sensed what's been going on recently, that pattern. I thought if that happens again in a game that we've actually played well in, we should have put to bed, I would have been, I would have been in pain. Yeah. It would have hurt.
To be fair to the team, I think they were under a little bit of pressure, and I think you saw a little bit of nerves, because I think obviously coming into this game with City having won so convincingly, they topped the table as we took the pitch. You know, that does play into it. Whether we, we can talk all day long, but I'm sure that does occupy the players' minds.
Now, this is where I've got to give them credit, because what we saw today wasn't what we've seen in those games. Sunderland, when we were 2-1 up, we sat back. They had all the ball. They're putting balls in the box and then we conceded. Same against Aston Villa. At one point, we sat back. Even against Wolves, at 1-0, we just sat back and they put the ball in the box and they scored. Today, we actually kept going. Big up to Bukayo Saka as well, because I thought he was by far our best player in that second half. Kept going. Put the team on his back, was beating men, getting the ball in the box. It looked like if anything was going to come in that second half, it was going to be through him. And we didn't just sit back. We didn't just let them have the ball. We actually kept, do you know what I mean? That's why it was a little bit less nervy, because we were in their third for most of that second half. But there was just that thing in me of we haven't killed this game.
Yeah, I think whenever
at 1-0, there's always it could just be one moment, whether it was the penalty or whatever. We've got over the line. So now I can try and calm down a little bit, because we've got the 3 points. We're now top of the table again, 2 points ahead of City. But we need to put in better performances, because the last week against Wolves, if that was anyone else apart from 20th place Wolves, probably wouldn't have come back to win that game. 1-0 up against Everton, if you don't take your chances, if there's anyone else apart from Everton, without Dewsbury Hall and without Njai, maybe they go on and get the equaliser. So don't get me wrong, big up the team. 2 wins in a row. It's getting better from the recent away performances. But this team is better than that. This team is better than a 1-0 today. And I think that's where my frustration is coming from.
No, that's fair enough. In terms of the win, I think Victor Gyökeres is going to be one of the talking points coming out of this game. He, in effect, got the winner, got the penalty. How do you think he played today? I mean, there was a lot of pressure on him, given the last couple of games he's had for Arsenal. It was kind of surprising to me that he took the penalty, but to be fair to him, he took it with aplomb. How do you think he did overall?
Yeah, I'm happy that he got his goal. It was nice to see him step up, because there's been a few times recently where we've got a penalty and Saka's been the one to step up and take it, when everyone, I think all the fans want Gyökeres to take it. He scored the penalty, nice finish. I think there were a couple of times when he was in behind, he'd get the shot off a little bit quicker. One time, I think Saliba was the one that drove forward into the midfield, put him in. And he takes a nice first touch and then he's just got to shoot. Get it out of your feet and hit it. He kind of gives the defender a bit of a half yard to get the tackle in. And then everyone's saying, oh, it was a good tackle. But it's like, don't give the defender a chance to make a good tackle. The ball you should already have hit it. But this isn't, I don't need to go in on Gyökeres. He scored the goal, which is the winner. We've won the game. I don't think he was great. I don't think he was poor. But yeah, just keep scoring. If he doesn't play well when he scores, I have no reason to criticise. But yeah, it is what it is.
Anyone else stand out for you today? You spoke about Saka, and I do agree with you. I thought he was player of the match. Anyone in Arsenal's team today that you thought had a good game?
I think defensively we were good. I think Timber looked back to normal Timber. I think we've obviously been playing him at centre-back and he just doesn't look as comfortable at centre-back. Timber at right-back, you know what you're going to get, a 7 at least out of 10. Saliba, I think, was great today. Put out fires before they even started. Cleaned up, was good in the air. At times, like we said, was driving into midfield, actually trying to create as well. Good on set pieces. Hincapié, again, good. Calafiori, I think, had a decent game. I think Rice grew into it in the second half. That's just because he's an engine. You know, sometimes he looks like he gets more fit as the games go on. I didn't think it was Zubamendi's best game, to be completely honest. Gave the ball away quite a lot. I just want to see him turn forward. You know, we were used to seeing Thomas Partey get the ball in those positions. Turn forward, he's picking a pass forward. Zubamendi's not doing that enough. You know, receiving the ball on the half turn as a number 6, that is an attribute that you need to be good at, and he needs to get better at that because it slows our game down a lot.
Yeah, there has been 1 or 2 people suggesting that the last couple of weeks he's not been at his best. Do you think maybe it's time to take a look at somebody else in that position? Possibly Norgard, who's not featured so far this season yet?
I wouldn't take him out of the team. It comes down to training. How do we get the best out of him? How do we get him in a bit more space? How do we get... Maybe it's a confidence
Do you think
thing.
he looks a bit tired?
He shouldn't be tired. He's had a week off. You know, and it's a game we're dominating. It's not like he was running his legs off for 90
All right, let me
minutes.
put it another way. Do you think he needs rotating, or do you just play him into form?
No, I play him into form, 100%. Because I've seen him at the start of the season. He was quality. For me, he was one of our best players at the start of the season. I agree with you. He's looked a bit leggy recently, but after a week off, you shouldn't look leggy. You should be one of our better players. So yeah, and Martin Odegaard, who's been given a big chance today. Because a lot of people were calling for Eze to start. I would have started Odegaard, but for me, he didn't do enough. Again, another player, and I speak about the old Odegaard like he's a different player, because he is. The old Odegaard used to get the ball 1-2 touches out of his feet, he's got his head up, he's picking a pass, scooping it, he's doing a trick, whatever it is, getting a shot off. Now, I think it's just injury. I think that injury has really, really hindered his career. Because now Odegaard, he needs an extra second. He needs 2, 3, 4 touches. He turns back and then he's getting his head up. Then do you know what I mean? He's just taking a little bit too long to get the ball out of his feet, and it's just not clicking for him. It really isn't. Physically, he doesn't quite look at it, and he was. I got to say, it was poor today for me. It wasn't good enough.
We've got the game, very important game coming up in the week against Palace. Do you start him or do you go with Eze for that game?
I think I'll start Eze. You could start both. You could rest Zubamendi, start Rice, Odegaard and Eze. I don't know how much Arteta's going to rotate, but for me, that's a must-win. I want to win that trophy. I don't want to go out. And the squad is deep enough that you can still start a strong team. I think you can still play
suspect you're
Rice.
probably going to see Eze. I'll tell you why as well, given that it's against his old club. That'll be an extra motivational factor.
Yeah. I think Madueke plays. I think Marino probably starts in that game. I think Martinelli will start. So you can still rotate, but I wouldn't change too much because Palace won't. I know they got battered 4-1, but they're still a good team. So I would start a strong team and I'd just go and win that, and we're in the semi-finals.
But to bring it all the way back, a win today away from home, back top of the table. How confident are you that we can go on and actually do this? Because, I've got to be honest, there are 1 or 2 people, we said it ourselves today, didn't we? We're entering into that period of the season, you could call it squeaky bum time, where every game, there's so much on every game.
Yeah. I've got to be honest, I'm less confident than I was 3 or 4 weeks ago. I still think we'll go on and win it. But the performances haven't fueled my confidence. And looking at what City are doing. City a couple of weeks ago, they were throwing away leads. They were still winning, but they were looking shaky defensively. They've had a couple of clean sheets in a row now. Then it's not just Haaland scoring goals. So I'm looking around. I'm a fan. A lot of people say, why are you looking? I'm a fan. I watch other teams. I'm looking at what other teams are doing. Am I looking at Arsenal right now and saying, this looks like the best team in the league right now? Probably not. We're still top of the league. Across the season we have. But in terms of performances last week, this week, we haven't looked like that. So as an Arsenal fan, I need those performances to give me the confidence. It's not just about results, because at one point it'll come back to bite us. But today, end of the day, 3 points is 3 points. It's a tough place to go. And we take it and we move.